Let's see one level extension of factory pattern that we just discussed, that is factory design pattern. Now we will discuss the abstract factory design pattern. So this is the things that we have already discussed in our last lecture. That is, we have the MI model abstract class, that is a parent class, and it has the three different abstract method. And then we have the two different models of that parent class, that is MI bolt and MI fire, and these two different derived classes extends the parent abstract class, so they implement these three different abstract method differently in their classes. Now we introduce one more model in our system, that is MI plus. So we create a new derived class, that is MI plus. It also extends the main parent class, that is the abstract MI model, and then it implements all these three different abstract classes differently in their class. So we introduces a one new model, that is MI plus, and then we have the factory. But as we discussed in our last lecture, we want to extend our business to two different new offices, that is London and New York. So basically now our factory class will extend to two different new offices, that is London and New York. So we create the two different derived classes from this parent class factory. So the first derived class is New York factory and second derived class is London factory, and we extend these two classes from the factory. But here we have one more constraint, and the constraint is this. So basically the New York factory should always manufacture the models, that is MI fire and MI plus. So this is my MI fire model and this is my MI plus, and they should always be manufactured in the New York factory. Similarly, another constraint is the London factory should always manufacture the MI fire and MI board only. So this is the constraint that also we need to take in account in this particular design pattern. So if you notice, when the same functionality need to be supported differently in two different classes, then always better option is the abstract. Like in this case, we need to implement these three different methods differently into the derived classes. So we create an abstract class and then correspondingly create the different derived classes. So same concept we need to apply here also. So we create an abstract class, that is abstract factory. So now this class will change from normal class to an abstract class. And of course, if it is an abstract class, then it must have the abstract method, that is the produce mobile. So now it has the abstract method, then I'm sure it must be implemented differently into the class New York factory and the class London factory. So in this case, we want that the London factory should always manufacture MI fire and MI bolt, and the New York factory should always manufacture MI fire and MI plus. So we can write this condition easily here. So we have the method, that is produce mobile. This is the abstract method, and here if the customer will pass the MI fire, then we create the instance of MI fire class, and if it passes the MI bolt, then we create an instance of MI bolt. Same concept will apply here also. So in the class New York factory, we have the method, that is produce mobile, and here according to the query that the client will pass, we create the if and else if methods. If it's MI fire, we create an instance of MI fire. If it's a MI plus, then it create an instance of MI plus. So basically now the client will pass the two things, that is the country in which the client wants to create mobile, and of course the model that he wants. So it passed the two options, and then we check the country, and correspondingly with that country we check the model, and then we create the instance of that model. So this is the abstract factory design pattern, where we create an abstract factory class and correspondingly the abstract factory method, and we implement that method into the different derived classes. So this is our abstract factory method, with the help of whom I can support as many countries as I want in my system. Let's see the implementation of abstract factory pattern. So first of all, we have the abstract class, that is mi model, and these are my three abstract method, that is CPU, RAM and price. And then these are the corresponding derived classes. So here we have the three different derived classes, that is mi bolt, mi fire and mi plus. So mi bolt and mi fire, it's the same that we have discussed in our last lecture, and this is the mi plus. So this is the new model that we have added in our system, and it also extends the same abstract parent class, and it implements these three methods differently in its class. And then we have the abstract class. So this is the abstract class mobile factory, and if it is abstract class, then it must have the abstract method, and this is my abstract method, that is produce mobile. And here I am passing the string. So basically when the client will request, it pass the string, and that string can be the mi bolt or mi fire or mi plus, whichever model the client wants, and correspondingly we need to create an instance of that model. So this is the method, that is produce mobile, and it returns the instance of mi model. Also, we have the method, that is configure MB, and here I am passing the string, that is the model. So basically the user will pass the particular string, that is mi bolt or mi fire or mi plus, and I get those strings in this particular model. And then from this method I am calling this method, that is produce mobile. So basically this method, that is configure mobile, is not an abstract method. This is a normal method from the abstract factory class, and this produce model is actually an abstract method. So of course we must have the derived classes. So these are my two derived classes, that is London factory and New York factory, and these two derived classes are extending from the parent abstract class, and they implement this abstract method differently into these classes. Like in case of London factory, this is my produce mobile abstract method, and this is the New York factory, and here also we have the produce mobile method. So in case of London factory, here in this method, if we get the string, or let's say the query from the client as mi fire, then in that case we create the instance of mi fire model. And if we get the query for mi bolt, then we create the instance of mi bolt class. Similarly, in case of New York factory class, if we get the query for mi fire, we create the instance of mi fire, and if we get the query for mi plus model, then we create the instance of mi plus. So these two methods have different implementation in these two derived classes, is extending from the abstract parent class. So let's see the end-to-end flow when client send a request for creating a model instance. So this is my client, and this is the main method, and here the first instruction is we are creating the instance of London mobile factory. So if you see, this is the mobile factory, which is the abstract class, and here we are creating the derived class instance, that is the instance of London factory class, and here it create the instance as factory. Now from this instance we call this method, that is configure MB. This is my configure MB class, and here I am passing the string. So basically the user is querying for mi fire, and the user wants to create an instance of mi fire. So the user first pass the which particular factory that he or she wants, and then correspondingly which model they want. So this is the instance of the factory, and this is the query. So in the query they are passing the mi fire, so we get the mi fire as the model, and then correspondingly we call the produce mobile. So we are calling this produce mobile from the instance of London mobile factory, so it will call the produce mobile for London factory derived class. So this is my produce mobile method, and here we get the query as mi fire. So once we get the query as mi fire, we create the instance of mi fire class. Similarly, in the second scenario, we are creating the instance from the New York factory. So if you see, this is my parent abstract class, and here I am creating the instance of the drive class, that is New York factory, and it will create the instance as ny factory. And from this method we are again calling this method, that is configure mb, and here we pass the string, that is mi plus. It get that string and correspondingly call that abstract method. As this is the instance of New York factory class, so it call the produce mobile method from the New York factory class. So it call the produce mobile method. Here it pass the string, and the string is mi plus. So we get the mi plus strings, and it creates the instance of mi plus class, and then simply return that instance. So it create the instance, return the instance, and the return type is mi model only. So we got the instance of mi model class, which is of type mi plus in this case, and in this case which is of type mi fire. Now once we get the instance of mi model class, then correspondingly we can call all these three different methods, that is CPU, RAM and price, that we need to configure. So in this particular scenario, we return the instance of mi fire model. So it will call the CPU, RAM and price method of mi fire class. And in this scenario, it return the instance of mi plus class. So it will correspondingly call the CPU, RAM and price methods of mi plus class only. So that's how the abstract factory design pattern works.